Great. I think we're good to go. We can start. So, good evening, all, and welcome to another informative session on Shiksha. I am Bhagyashri Gupta, your moderator for this session. Welcoming our two panelists from Tata Institute of Social Science. Let me just introduce our two panelists. Grace Varshita, who is pursuing MA Social Work from TISS Mumbai, and also Shivakant, who is pursuing MA Social Work from TISS Mumbai. So now I would request both our panelists to brief about yourselves to all our students present here, please.
Grace, please go ahead.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Grace and I'm currently pursuing Masters in Social Work. My specialization is children and family, and I've done my bachelor's also in social work, so I've been to this. Yeah, I'm from Andhra Pradesh.
Great. Shivakant, over to you.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Good evening. I am Shivakant Girajula from Hyderabad. So I did my bachelor's, in BSc Honors Horticulture. I think it's very important, to establish that first, because I know a lot of aspirants, who are listening to this are confused, not from certain backgrounds. So will I be able to get in or not? Yes, there is a chance. But yeah, you have to follow the guidelines. And yeah, I am currently pursuing MA Social Work, specialization in children and families from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. So looking forward to the session. So thank you for having us here.
Great, absolutely. So let's begin with the sessions. So I would like to first, I have a very basic general infrastructure of questions. So firstly, I would like to know the process of, the online assessment for TISS. Would you like to share on that?
So you see, like the online assessment, especially for the School of Social Work, it's been changing, since the last 2 years. So in the 2000 till 2019, so admission usually used to take place in 3 steps. First is Testnet. Second comes the intermediary step that used to be a group discussion, and third is the personal interview. So, and the percentage, it will be taken from all these when the final merit list, all these, steps include. So what happened after the COVID hit is, like, there is no intermediary step as of now. So in the 2020, when we got in, me and Grace, so we gave our, interviews online, some gave it offline. So 60% was taken from aggregate was taken from the exam and 40% from the interview. But in the last year, that is 2021, what happened is, like, again, there was no intermediary step. And instead of that, they took 50% from the exam and 50% for the interview. So for this year, there are no official details out till now. So there is a bit of ambiguity when it comes to online assessment. So as of now, the website and the official information we have is just still the testnet. So we don't have any details as of online assessment, because since there is an ambiguity of opening the campus or not opening the campus, I think once those things are clear, we will know if campus is opening, that most probably you'll have a GD, yeah, in the physical classrooms. Yeah.
Okay. So Grace, would you like to brief more about the Testnet exams? I'm sure students want to know more about it.
Yes, Testnet is mostly based on your aptitude, English, and small math skills you have. It will be uniform for everyone. There is no category like these things should be done, these things should be not done. Like if you have done bachelor's, you have to go through all your academics till bachelor's what you have done, and you should be able to have a good knowledge about your current affairs, and mostly you get good score in current affairs than the other subjects. So for different schools or different courses, there will be different percentage or marks they take in. For example, we are from School of Social Work, and we have some 19 centers, I think. So in that, based on the course, there will be different marks. There will be different cutoff marks they will be taking. For example, for us it was 35, but for criminology and justice and also School of Social Work, for them it was around 45 or so. It depends on course to course. And if we look at the personal interview or the group discussion, we haven't got the opportunity to go for a group discussion because of COVID. And in the personal interview, it will be more of your personality and how much grip you have on current affairs. It will be like it depends on the place you hail from. Like for example, I'm from Andhra Pradesh. They'll ask me about the political systems in Andhra Pradesh, like yeah, like you can say the CM has announced 3 capitals, and they'll ask you, what do you think about it? So it will be more of your place, your regional knowledge you have, and you should have your own perspective than copying out from another paper or something like that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, you also spoke about, we got to know about the TISS extempore. So, just to know, how do you prepare for that extempore, and what type of topics students need to prepare for that. So, if you could say something on that.
Uh, Grace, can I answer that? Yeah. So extempore, like basically, the syllabus, which largely revolves, when it comes to extempore and, interviews more or less similar. See, suppose like it also depends. I think you should be more focused and more prepared about what are the course you are going to apply for. Like now you have given your 3 priorities, 1, 2, and 3. So your preparation should be based on that. Suppose like I have taken MA Children Family. So what I'll do is like I'll look at various child related issues of my state and largely some data from the center such as malnutrition, child labor, child marriage, street children, migrant children, orphan, and children in the institutional settings, etc. I mean, it can be like education related scheme as well, such as how, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is working. So other than that, uh, what usually happens in the extempore is like they also look at those burning topics such as like in Karnataka we are having hijab, bro. So what's your stand on that? Or union budget was introduced, and there are very specific issues about union budget too, that MG Narega's allocation was cut down, how COVID-19 affected families, should marriage age be increased, child and adolescent labor amendment, uniform civil code, legalization of prostitution, surrogation law. So these are all topics which are in the news every day. I think when it comes to current affairs, or when it comes to the topics that they are specifically looking for in extempore, it's like what's happening in the last 6 months at least. Like when it comes to the exam also, usually they say 10 will be good, but yeah, discussions will mostly be around what's happening around us. So if you're more aware, or I mean study everything with related to the subject you have chosen, that will fetch you good marks.
Great. So there are certain questions that we have got from students also, so we could also take some questions from there. So what about this is Sharvari who's asking, what about the essay and group discussion round also?
Yeah, Sharvari answered before, group discussion, extempore, this or interview, this will all be circulated around the same topics. But when it comes to interview, there are a lot more components than just these topics. Maybe we'll take it up to discussion later on. So most largely, like when it comes to group discussion or analytical writing also, it will be around the topics we just discussed. Thank you for the question.
Right. So moving ahead, I would also want to know what is the qualification one needs to have for enrolling here?
So we also have eligibility criteria on the website. So minimum 15 years of academic studies required. That is your, till class 10th and plus 2 plus 3 years of any course that is, recognized by UGC, okay, or any other, institution per se. So minimum that qualification is required. And you see, there are people who completed 40 years of age and still come back to the institution to study also. There is no upper limit as such, but yeah, 15 years of academic experience is compulsory to get into TISS.
Great, great. So also there are questions regarding the different courses which are available at TISS. So would you like brief on the different courses that students can take up?
It actually depends, more on your personal perspective. You see, it's not because I am from the institution, but everybody here, we strongly believe we got best faculty, we got all the best facilities, and we been the batch who for the first time experienced everything in online, and we can't be more thankful, for what they did to us, for how much they helped us through this, tough journey. So I think it's completely personal choice, and as far as we believe as a student, every course that TISS offers is best in class.
Great. So Gopika wants to know, she is currently studying in MA Sociology. So is there PhD in TISS?
Grace, will you answer that?
Yeah, there are PhDs in TISS, and it depends on what course or what is her area of interest. They can check in the website, TISS website. Everything has been put up there. And for the previous question on eligibility, it varies for few courses. Let's say public health or some hospitalization courses. For them, they also accept bachelors of medicine or paramedical students who have completed them. They are also welcome to join these courses. Everything has been put up very clearly in website. They just have to go through and dig in for the information they need.
Okay. So Grace, there's another question from M. Bharat related to your subject. So he wants to join MA in social work in Dalit and tribal studies and is not able to know more about the course. So if you can just brief him about this, because he's very much interested for the course.
Yeah, Dalit and tribal studies. It is also under School of Social Work. As I said, I am doing in children and family, and we have field work. Apart from the academics or courses, like the academics we do, apart from that, we'll have rigorous field work. We have done concurrent field work in the first year, and then a block placement in the third semester, and now again in the fourth semester we'll have another block field work. For any course in social work, it is all that you should go through the syllabus. It has been put up in the website, so know about what the teachers will teach you, so that you will get better understanding of what you are going to learn. So I have gone through all that. So I was like very much interested in children and families, and then natural resources in Hyderabad, and counseling and psychology. But then I got better marks in children and family, so I got into this. Yeah, it everything is there in the website. You just have to look at what you need.
Okay, so there's another question that is internship important prior to TISS? I think that's a relevant question.
So like I mentioned before, so when you look at any class here in TISS, when it comes to children families, we are a class of 17 students, and there is only one student coming from BA social work. So what you read prior, to coming to TISS, and if you have done internship, have not done internship, it doesn't matter at all. So it's fine.
For HRM, they might ask for an internship actually.
Yeah, this answer is specific to School of Social Work. Yeah.
If it is specific to School of Social Work, it doesn't matter which course you have done, where you are from. It's all how much interest you have in doing social work.
Okay. So, also students want to know a bit about the media and cultural studies course, which is available there. Any of you would like to talk on that?
So I personally have my expertise in School of Social Work. So I would definitely say it's a good course. A lot of students come there every year, and we have some courses taken up by faculty of School of Media and Cultural Studies. Yeah, a general comment is good. To get into course description, I don't, I'm not so specific about any details. You can just
Right.
always look, in the website. The course structure is very clearly written, in the aspects of how many semesters are there and what are the courses you will study in each semester. So that should give you a good idea of the entire course.
Great. So also, students are here asking about the library, Testnet library and technical science course. Some of them have actually filled the form, so they want to know more about it. So Grace, if you would like to say something on this.
Yeah, as Shiva said, everything is in the website. And coming to the library and the course related to library and technology, you have best library ever in TISS. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, because of online mode, we couldn't get opportunity to be directly interacting with our library. But then we have this library, online library, where we get so many books from so many like JSTOR and so like so many academic papers you will get there, and there are dissertations posted there. So you will get to know more if you go through the syllabus you have in the website. Just you to guide you through our website, you can just click on MA admissions and go through this courses or centers you have, choose the course you are interested, and there you will find everything, like what is their main focus and what are they expecting from the students. You will understand just by reading it. And if you want to know more about the syllabus they have given in this semester, these will be the courses and you will be doing this, and how many credits for each subject also will be given there. So you will have better understanding once you just go and read it, and you will have a clear picture than what we say here.
Great. Okay, so there's a student who named Mangami who wants to know what's the course which is most related to economics. I think she wants to understand on that. So any of you would answer that?
So we are from the School of Social Work. So I think, a good person to answer this question is from, you should be from HRM or LR. So it's not our domain. So that's it. But yeah, people who have done economics in their bachelor's or who have already done their master's in economics are also in the School of Social Work, if that helps.
Okay, going by the different procedures like GDPI and extempore and all, including everything. So what was your whole experience of the entire selection system? So, students want to know if you could share some tips to, ace them for that.
So Grace can answer that. Yeah. So yes, of course, like how I listed down the topics earlier. So I was also very active, watching all the news, reading all the newspapers, highlighting all the social issues. It was more important for me to form opinions to everything. And you see, just forming opinion, it doesn't matter. You can be right, you can be wrong, but what's important is you form an opinion and you should have something to back it up, an argument to back it up, basically. So, but yeah, things went sideways and we did not have group discussion. But yeah, I think when it comes to TISS interview will be around 40 minutes. Sometimes it might extend more than 40. There'll be 3 to 4 panelists. So I think this interview is different from any other interview. Like when you want to get into MBA colleges, it's slightly different because here people will test you. Professors will test you when you are at your best. They see you nervous, they first calm you down because they want to test you when you're at test. So I think the key to, crack this interview is like, you should be good in communication, you should be good in articulation, and you should be good in self-reflection. You must strongly believe, what you're saying, because there are people who are sitting with 30-40 years of experience, they'll scan you in and out.
Absolutely.
So and there are, certain elements, which you have to cover before getting into the interview. So largely I can say, there are certain, it's divided into three parts. First will be general introduction. In the general introduction, these are the common questions which you always face, such as tell me about yourself, why TISS, and why this particular course, and application based questions from your CV, maybe, the bachelor's from which you're coming from. Suppose I came from horticulture, so they ask like, what's the application of horticulture here? So
Right.
then comes the thematic. So thematic mostly revolves around those components which we discussed, while we were talking about extempore and GD, right? So those topics, if you're going to an interview of CODP, LSC, or children families, you must be aware of what's all happening in your state, country at large, or internationally also, all the conventions, what usually happen. So that happens in the thematic, and finally, it's self-reflection. In the self-reflection, mostly they ask you about strengths, weaknesses, challenges, failures, how do you see yourself in 5 years? So all these topics have to be covered. So I think if you structure your answers well, that's why I told you the three important components before you start, building or preparing yourself. You must be good in articulation, self-reflection, communication. So when these you have that, when those things become your strength, I think, when you give a structure, it will when you give an answer, it will automatically be structured. So yeah.
Great. So I think that has answered all the thing for a personal interview. So related to, as you said, that you did horticulture and then you got into this social work, right? So M. Bharat wants to know that he did his graduation in BCom. So it really matters that the person should be like same field and he can join the social work in MA?
It does not matter. I think what you are, it is purely based on your interest. So I think a lot of people, who have selected those courses in their bachelor's, some of them wanted that courses, and some of them, like, their parents might have told them, and because they were also very much confused, because it's inculcated in us also. When you are good at math, you're only preparing for IIT, and but later in life you realize that's not for me. So if you are genuinely interested in a particular course, I don't think anything can stop you. But one personal tip, to crack the interview, don't say I wanted to do this since a long ago. So your interest should not be juvenile, so that's how that I think you will eventually, while preparing, you will get it. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So, Grace, another question that a lot of students would want to know is like, is there any particular resource or book materials you could suggest for preparing TISS exams?
Honestly, I didn't do any book preparation to get into Testnet or to finish my PI round. I suggest everyone to be thorough with what's happening around you. And let's say if you are from human resources or some finances background, you just have to have an idea what are the finances issues around finances in around you and around whole India and in the world. Like it will be on three stages. Like you should have proper knowledge first, proper knowledge around what's happening around you.
And also,
Everyone.
yeah, please go on, Grace. Please.
Yeah. Go on.
So, and also, like, when you look at the website, it's written in the website that when it comes to the three sections, right? Current affairs, English, and mathematics in LR. When it comes to mathematics in LR and English, the standard will be like what you read till 10th standard. It will not be beyond that. So here the tricky part is only the current affairs, because it's going to take, the larger portion of your marks, and there are no, fixed syllabus as such. So if somebody who is preparing, for IBPS or RRB or any SSC exams, it should be, easy for them. you know, the level is not that tough, but yeah, you have to start prepare for what happens after the exam well ahead, because that's going to be useful for them. That will consume most of the time. It won't, the normal preparation won't take a long time.
Okay. So also, students want to know कि there's like not much time is left for the exam, which is happening in Feb. So if you would suggest what kind of quick preparation tips students could have for the exams.
Okay, I'll give what I have done. So you can find current affair videos or audios on YouTube. So I used to listen to them all the time before the commencement of the exam. So I was so nervous as every one of you. I was so nervous. It was like the dream come true to get into TISS, and it was like very it.
Oh, sorry, I dropped out, no electricity. Can I continue with my video off?
Sure. Please do. Please do.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Grace, you can continue.
Yeah, you can just use the audios or videos on current affairs and read articles around your subject or area of interest. Suppose if you are from human resources management, you can just go through new articles around them and make sure you equip yourself around the topics that are happening now. And coming to social work, it will be not like, definitely you will not get what you think you will get, that's for sure. And it will be not so tough. If you have your own perspective, it will go good. And for Testnet, you just have to go through everything you have read till now. It will be all in our head, and we don't know how to put it on the paper. That's it. And I used to think I'm very weak in maths, and I have got into it. That means math isn't the problem. It is the remaining aptitude and the current affairs you have to concentrate on. If you are weak in maths, just concentrate on it as well. And as I said before, for the PI, you should have your own perspective and make sure that you have a backup for every answer you give. Don't give bland answers like this is why I thought. No, you should have your own answer. Like I said before, for example, they'll ask you why you have chosen social work over BCom or some other sector. You should uh, convince them that you are very much into social work, and you should be able to justify your answer. For like, I have done my bachelor's in social work since like, it was my dream all the time. I'm very much into services. But then among our classmates, I'm the only one who has done bachelor's in social work. Everyone else are from different backgrounds, and some few of them have worked and quit their jobs and has come to TISS and started studying. It doesn't matter which course you're from. It is that you should know why you are choosing this course and why you want to continue with the course you have chosen. It is
So,
that simple.
Grace, just adding another question part to whatever you have answered till now. So, especially for MBA, students want to know that is there any separate entrance rather than Testnet?
I think they'll have another exam, like for MA courses and few other courses, they'll have only Testnet. And for management courses, they'll have additional exam continuing with the Testnet. Like it will be half an hour. They'll give half an hour more for that exam. So you will find when you apply for it, you will just find what all the things you have to prepare. They'll send you a proper list of. You will find everything on website. So yeah.
Okay. So I think Shivakant is back. So also during the registration process, we got a lot of questions. So they want to also know like how much percentage of general knowledge question is there for TISSNet exams, if you would like to answer.
So general knowledge questions, that depends, there is no actually structured answer for that. Every year it's different, since you all know, like, we can't get our question papers back from the exam. There is no fixed ratio as such, how much it will be general knowledge or current affairs. In the I can we nobody can give you that ratio. So I think just focus. I think you should also be aware of the cutoff, for that section, that is current affairs. You have a cutoff, for the general category. It's necessary you get 14 marks. If you are from, ST, SC or OBC, you have to get minimum of 12 marks in that section.
Okay. So we have another question, like, can the students apply for 2 different courses and give exam for one? Is that possible?
In what? I did not get that question.
So the students want to know that while you apply or fill the forms, can you choose 2 different courses?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
You will be able to choose a maximum of 3 subjects, and exam will be similar. Suppose there are certain courses such as TISS offers the flagship course of HRM and LR. So for those courses, you'll have to sit for additional 30 minutes for test mat. Otherwise, what the general practice is, like, everybody who is applying, it doesn't matter one subject, 2 or 3, everybody has to sit for first 100 minutes. For some courses, it's specific that they have to sit the extra time because they have other criteria, exam criteria as well. Yeah, you can apply multiple courses.
Okay. So another question that I would want to know is, as you mentioned about TISS-MAT exam, and we also mentioned about TISSNet. So are both the exams happening, like, do they happen together, or they have different dates? So what exactly does it happen?
So
they happen together.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Great, go ahead.
Yeah. TISSNet and TISSMAT, they happen together. The online written tests will happen together. And then based on the eligibility or necessity of the course, they'll have a GE or a written test sometimes. And they also ask you to do some technical stuff if they need it. And it all depends on course to course. There is no particular structure for the second round, or like the group discussion and the extempore round. And for the PI, we have discussed already.
So Paunam wants to know how much percentile at TISSNet should he score to get admission for MBA? I mean, like a particular percentage to pass the exams.
So
Yes.
that cutoff will be made after the completion of the exam. We cannot, maybe you just go through the internet and find out what was the cutoff for this particular subject last year, because when we get the admit cards or result card, once we clear it down, there it's written the cutoff for a particular course is this. So you can trust the internet in these terms. But yeah, it will be different for different courses cutoff, and it will be different. When in the first step, once you clear the exam, there is no reservation there. But when the final merit list is being made, there is reservation, and the cutoffs will be different there. So it's very difficult to answer that question per se.
Okay. So also, I just want to add up on this. Like, is there a certain age limit mentioned if you need to apply this, that you had to be of this age before you apply here? Is there something like that? Any of you would like to take it?
Yeah. Like I told you, in the School of Social Work, there are individuals who crossed 40 years of age and who came back. So yeah, so I don't think there is any upper limit here. At least I can, be sure about School of Social Work.
Okay. So we have got another question, if Grace would like to answer on that. Like, if a student is, is clearing cutoff for 2 different programs, then will he be appearing for 2 different interviews? If you can clarify something on this.
Yes, they'll have 2 different interviews. If they clear cutoff marks for all 3, they'll attend all 3 interviews. And it depends on the preference you give. If you have given preference for, like, let's say children and family first, and then two other courses, if you get good marks in children and family and it is eligible for you to get admission, then they'll give preference to the course you have chosen first, and then for the rest of them. So if you clear all three interviews well and you are eligible for admission, or you will still get the first preferred course. You can't choose among three after you got selected.
Yeah.
No, you can only give interview for all three, but then you'll get only the first preference one.
Okay. So also, let's just discuss a bit about the job opportunities. I'm sure when a student is applying, definitely this thing is of priority. What kind of job opportunities will he or she be getting after, completing the course? So if you could brief on it.
So may I take that, Grace?
Yes, you should be the one.
So yeah, I understand it's every student's concern, but when you look at the website or when you look at LinkedIn, TISS or School of Social Work generally do not talk about placements much, because we are here for the cause. But we also believe that first you have to be in a position to help others. So you are, I think, TISS, has 100% placement policy. For our batch, the placements have begun, and you have various types of organizations coming in. It can be government PSUs or research based organizations, or various livelihood schemes which the governments are offering. You can work with them, or any grassroots level organizations also. So it depends on your personal interest, because like throughout the journey you'll also be equipped, or have that information to make that informed choice before you sit for the placements. There are a lot of categories, and it purely depends on the student's interest, but yeah, there is chance for everybody, and this has 100% placement policy.
Great. So would you also like to talk about the branches for TISS? Is there a single branch or there are multiple branches around the country? So if you could tell us something about that.
It's a multi-campus institute, like you see, like TISS Mumbai, TISS Guwahati, TISS Tuljapur, TISS Hyderabad. We have all this in BA Allen. There is one specific course which is offered, from Chennai also.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a multi-campus facility.
Okay, so Grace, would you like to answer which amidst all the branches is considered like one of the best campus, if I would like to ask that?
It's very difficult to answer that. I'm not partial here. It's like I'm from this Mumbai, but then I didn't get opportunity to stay there, which I regret most. But every branch looks very beautiful, that's for sure. And TISS Mumbai is like a whole greenery, and you will be able to see all the animals there. It seems, I don't know, I didn't see it. And every campus has its own uniqueness, I believe, because Tuljapur and Guwahati, they are like northeastern and kind of, so they'll have their own set of specialities. And I'll say Mumbai is the best because I'm from Mumbai campus.
Okay, so I think that was a good answer. So also let's take up some questions from the students. Lavya wants to know, is there negative marking in Testnet and Testmat?
There is no negative marking in Testnet. You can go ahead and answer all the questions. Yeah, I am not so sure about Testmat.
Okay.
When I gave it, there was negative marking. So please check. Yeah.
There might be negative marking for this.
So I also just, saw a question popping up. Somebody was asking, they applied for HRM and LR, and they also applied for School of the Media and Cultural Studies. So they were asking if, they will have to give a single exam or two exams. So for that question, first 100 minutes is going to be same for all the courses. So you will sit for Testnet, that is common for everything. And, in the same examination hall, once you complete that 100 minutes, you will be, given that extra window to complete, your test mat also. So it will be a single exam, same day, but you are going to sit 30 minutes extra than other students who are, just applying for other courses which do not have test mat in the curriculum.
Okay. So overall, they're also asking about, like, after Testnet, what exactly is the procedure? Like, after they have given the exam, what exactly is the selection procedure? How does it follow?
See, like I told, till 2019. Okay, so 2019, what happened is, the entire process was, having 3 steps.
Hmm.
Testnet exam, one intermediary step, it can be analytical writing, or it can be, group discussions, and the final step would be the personal interview. So then a lot of changes happened, because the intermediary step, it couldn't be facilitated in the digital medium, right? Because of that, they directly used to jump to personal interviews. So this is one of the main reasons why they did not highlight it in the website till now, till date. Maybe once you complete your examination, the process will be more clear. So I would definitely suggest you prepare for your GD as well, which is most probably going to be if there is an intermediary step and if the campus is opening. And most likely the topics which we've discussed also. So you do not think that if there is no GD, then my preparation would go waste, because once you learn that skills, it will definitely help you during your interviews. So the process is still unclear. They will update, and while you were filling all the courses, the instruction is also there clearly, that if TISS wants, it can change the criteria at any point. If they want something new to be added, they can do that also, but nothing will be out of the book. I would definitely suggest, just be prepared. TISS GD is not a separate component. It definitely adds value. If you're doing that, it will add value to your interview.
So there's another question regarding scholarship. Are there any scholarship available? If yes, then how can one apply and prepare for them? So if any of you would like to take that.
I'll take it.
Yes, Grace.
Yeah, there will be scholarship opportunities in this, and it can be based on merit, and it can be based on reservation. And when the admission process is being done, is going on, they'll give you clear instructions on how to get these facilities provided by TISS. And soon after you get into TISS, they'll conduct a session where they'll give you a clear idea what all things TISS has been doing, and about the scholarships, how they can approach, and if the students are from SC/ST background, they'll have a separate fee structure if they are from below a poverty line or something like that. And for you will continuously get emails about the scholarships.
Okay.
And once the classes has begun, and there will be few organizations or scholarship committees who come forward and offer scholarships to the merit students and who are economically backward students. And it can be based on the merit, or it can be based on the SC/ST or backward communities. Yeah, you will have scholarship, and you can apply for it, and you have to make a special request if you are having any problem in paying the fee or something. There are facilities for that.
Okay. So there are also students who want to know a bit about masters in applied psychology. So if you could share some light on that.
Yes, for applied psychology, you should be the one who has done bachelor's in psychology. Without that, you are not eligible. You can apply, but then they will not select you. Yeah, you should go and read the eligibility criteria first before applying to the applied psychology.
So Grace, is there any particular exam which they have to give for MA, psychology?
No. It's the same process. Testnet, intermediate round, and personal interview. In the personal interview, they'll ask you the questions around the subjects you have learned in the bachelor's around psychology. They expect you to have a internship. If it is in your curriculum in bachelor's, they'll ask about it, and you should be able to answer a few basic psychology questions they ask around, and it will be very easy for psychology students because they are the ones who
Okay. Also, they are asking about the eligibility criteria for MHA course. They want to know more about it.
Oh, MA in hospital administration. So,
Yes, MHA.
Yeah, okay. So I just know that, not just the doctors, even others can apply to the course. Apart from that, I don't have much information regarding that course.
Okay. So I think we would take some more questions. So Marcina wants to know how many students are allotted in a group interview after clearing the Testnet exams, and also please do tell us about the fee structure for students who belong to ST.
So for let's take a course. If suppose there is MA social work per semester, it might be like I might pay 20,000 per semester. So you can apply for various scholarship, like Grace has just told. It can be Government of India scholarship. Maybe it's based on your economic criteria or social criteria. It can be anything. So there are different foundations who come, you'll receive their emails. Maybe if you fit their criteria, you will get scholarships from there also. So it's difficult to say to what margin your fees will be cut, but there is scholarship.
Okay. So also there were certain small things that students want to know. Okay. Tell us the number of seats that were taken for MBA, especially for MBA. There are a lot of queries for MBA students. They want to know about finance and MBA. So if you could brief on that.
See, again, it's a very large question. You see, like when you look at the website also, how to apply MA admissions, you select a particular course, the first line will be like intake, how many students they are expecting that. For example, MA social work, 20 children families, 23. It was never about 23. So I'm sorry, I don't remember the number, but it won't be about that, about what's mentioned on the website. So you'll get it there.
You
Great,
just have to go
yes.
through the website.
Yeah.
Can I share the link of eligibility they have been asking all the time? Our website link here.
Sure. I mean, we have that. Are you sharing the link for shiksha.com that we have?
No, our TISS website link.
Sure, please
for
do,
eligibility.
Please do. Sure.
Yeah, this is the link for eligibility. You can just go
Please
through
do
there.
Yes.
Yeah, I shared it.
Great. So I think Grace has shared the official link. So I think students who are looking for admission process and TISS can actually check on this, and also go to shiksha.com. We have the TISS page where you can see all the details for upcoming exams and preparation. Also, I would like to tell all the students, if you have any more questions, you can always post it on shiksha.com, and we have Shiksha experts who will be there to help you out, guide you with the question. So I think the students can see a feedback poll on their screens, and I would request all of you, all the students here who have joined us for this session, to please fill up this feedback poll, as this will help us to improvise for our next sessions. And I hope the session was informative for all the students and a lot of queries got answered. and a lot of discussion also happened. And I would like to thank both our panelists, Grace and Shivakant. Thank you so much for being part of this session. And I think a lot of students have got a lot of information through this session. And any query is there for the students, you can always come up on shiksha.com website. Also, this video will be available on our official YouTube channel. So students can always visit the channel, subscribe the channel, and watch the entire video. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to both our panelists. And I wish all the best to all the students ahead.
Yeah. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity. And, I wish, all the students, best of luck. Just stay focused, looking forward to collaborate with you, later on. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Grace, would you like to say something?
Yes, all the best, and don't stress out. Be free and focus on what you are studying. Well, that's
Thank you. Thank you to all of you for joining us here. Thank you and all the best.